Welcome to all of our BPTV fans and YouTube fans that are watching our by request. It's almost 5 months now that we've been doing this. Thanks for all the great feedback. We're great, to be able and happy to do this with BPTV. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine, and we've got Jessica Lee, the jazz and blues singer, with us. We co-produce, co-host this great show, and we listen to people like you suggest by request. So we're going to go right to Jessica Lee and see what great songs she has in by request today. Hello, Jess.
Hey, Al, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Beautiful day in the city, a little chilly, but the sun is nice.
Spring is on its way. I think we have longer days since we sprung forward, right? We have
Yes,
sprung forward. So
yes,
the
we
time
did.
zone, we have longer days into the evening at least now. Hey, Al, what are you drinking today?
I have Young Hyson. It's a Chinese loose leaf green tea, very
To your
delicious
health.
and tasty, to your health and to our guest health, who makes the greatest teacups in the world. But I like showing off my green tea, and she has the best pottery cups I've ever seen.
Yeah, amen to that. So we've had some great song requests, and we're going to bring Tara May as our special featured guest on right now. And Tara, say a big hello and show us one of those teacups, and I'm going to go grab mine from Tara.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay.
Okay.
Hi everybody. My name is Tara Mays. Tara Lee Mays. So Jessica and I have that in common. We have the same middle name. So, anyways, here's one older, like sort of Chinese influenced, hand built teacup that I made. But I just really, really love this. You know,
Let me
there's the
co-sign. Let me co-sign that. I love all of your tea things and tea pots. I'd like to get a couple, but they only let me drink 3 cups of green tea since
yeah.
my transplant, so I
So,
can't
Mm-hmm.
boost my
so
immune system.
Al,
Yeah.
take a look at
Oh,
this.
look at that!
Take a look at this one. Now watch when I turn it. Look at the colors.
Wow!
Isn't
The
that
mug.
beautiful?
Isn't Tara the best?
Thanks, guys.
Look at that!
So
Thanks for
Al,
showing me.
Tara is joining us today. For those of you who are watching on television or YouTube, Tara is a wonderful artist and she's been a great friend for many, many years. She actually painted this gorgeous painting on the back wall of the Little Ease Jazz Club stage, which were like two doors that would open, but they closed to form a wall. And Tara's painting was on that. Some of you may remember Little Ease Jazz Club on Liberty Avenue in Pittsburgh. And so, Tara, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing during the pandemic.
Well, I like all the other artists that I know had to make some changes just to survive because a lot of us also work in the food industry. So greatly affected. So with no students, and no restaurant work to do, we had to change pace. So I had a small business that I opened up in 2018. It was at a garage studio and I actually closed that down. I still have my business, but I'm going to rebuild in another place someday. Um, and I took a little time for myself just to think and recalibrate. And then I surprisingly, I took a full time job with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Western Pennsylvania, and
Nice.
that yeah, and that's been really awesome because as much as I like making art, I really love sort of making children, like helping children. But I really love teaching the younger generations and the youth um, to be better artisans and um, have a positive mindset. And so that's what I've been doing. So I
So,
was going to I was asked to just give a little blurb about the Boys and Girls Clubs, if you like.
do
It's
it, do it.
yeah. So
Yes.
the
Come
boy,
on.
so I'm new to the Boys and Girls Club. I've only been there for 4.5 months, and it's quite an adjustment because I've been an independent contractor teacher for 20 odd years. So now I work with a large group of people. The Boys and Girls Club were founded in 1888. We've served 12,000 kids through programs services and outreach. We've served through the pandemic 250,000 meals to
Wow.
support food insecurity during COVID times. And we've given 3,500 kids Club on the Go kits whenever people were sort of on lockdown. And right now we've been expanding to career and youth workforce development for the young people, as well as STEM and art programs and school-based programs. Now I am building a complete art program for the Boys and Girls Club, multidisciplinary art program. So there's going to be music and theater and acting and visual arts, all the arts, culinary arts. They've never had a formal program in the arts. So that's what I'm trying to start, like a sort of a universal program, but I'm starting in 3 clubhouses. So we're starting small, and then we're going to grow and branch out and, develop some sort of uniformity. So that's that's what I've been doing. So
Tara,
yeah.
so you've been teaching, which is God's work. I mean, I know during the pandemic, so many people who have been working with youth have said that the programs have actually saved kids' lives. I mean, there
Yes.
are a lot of kids who are struggling with depression and anxiety, and this has been really hard, the isolation on the kids in particular, from what the psychologists are telling us and the psychiatrists. So you've been doing God's work. I have to tell you that the first song that was requested today is a song called Like a Seal on Your Heart. Set me like a seal on your heart. And it's about unconditional love, right? It's about
Right.
divine love in a way. And these children, what are you seeing with the kids as you're teaching art? What are you seeing with them?
Well, I've been teaching in a hub learning center, which at the Boys and Girls Club. So they're coming together while they're online, and we can only take a certain amount of kids per clubhouse, but these children they needed to finally, some of the kids just joined us and they've been in their house since March.
Wow.
And they've already had difficulties with the academic online programming because they're not receiving, every child doesn't learn the same way. So some children need more feedback than others, and stimulus. They need like stimuli, they need to be like provoked into learning, so to speak. So what happens is when I finally get them in the latter after school time, they're just everything. They're high strung, they're excited, they're moody, they're all the things that a child is, but sort of like concentrated, like
What a
it's all,
combination.
yeah,
What a
just waiting to
combination.
like they're just like us as adults, we can handle it, but for little children to be so pent up, they need that, they need some help, processing their feelings.
Yeah, so Tara,
so.
one of the big themes during the coronavirus pandemic has been online,
Right.
online teaching. We're doing a Zoom show
Yeah.
today and
Yeah.
virtually. A lot of people ask a question. Have you learned any lessons about how to reach children most effectively while using virtual tools, when you're not able to be in person? Have you found any little
Well,
tricks to
I
be
haven't.
helpful?
Yeah, I haven't been teaching online, to be honest, but the people, I did do one. It was for the Empower Her. I helped, I brought some people in, they did some tie-dye with the kids online. The kids they want programming, they want to do things that
So right now, Tara, you are in person.
I
right?
am in person.
Okay. So how long have you
That's
guys been in person? Have you
Yeah.
been in person for 4 months with them?
The Boys and Girls Club have been in person for they've been open, I think, since right after the total lockdown. So they've been open since April, May.
So
yeah.
so Tara, you are like a true frontline hero. You
Right.
are
Well, I wouldn't call myself a hero. I came out onto the scene in November. I started in November with Boys and Girls Club. Their safety protocols are really, really good. Like temperature checks, cleaning, mask, double mask. Every kid wears a mask, social distancing, the whole 9 yards. Like we do it all. Yeah, we've
And
closed.
how's it been going? Has it been pretty safe? Have there been
Yeah, we've
um,
only had. I know we during my time at the Boys and Girls Club, I've only known of one clubhouse that had to close down once because somebody was had gotten COVID, and so their safety protocols, mandated that the whole clubhouse closed down for deep cleaning and such, for about 2 weeks. But really, though, none of the other clubhouses have been affected. You know,
beautiful? That
yeah,
means that the Boys and Girls Club is doing a great job with
yeah.
keeping everybody safe and clean. And tell everybody a little bit about your own art, Tara. Tell us about what you've been working on, how people can find your art online. Tell us a little bit about
Sure.
that.
Well, right now I'm the worst with my website. So I need to get a new website because I keep trying to do it, but then it doesn't work. So I need to get a new website. So now I'm just on social media. Tara by Tara LLC on Instagram. Um, Tara by Tara LLC on Facebook. Also Tara Mays on Facebook. And then the others are Boys and Girls Club addresses. The Boys and Girls Club are Boys and Girls Club of Western PA -arts on Facebook. And on Instagram, it's BGCWPA_arts. But anyways, yeah, so I am still making artwork when I have time.
Show
Right now,
that piece.
yeah.
Please show
Oh,
that piece. You
well,
teased us.
I have lots of pieces here. I pulled one box down from upstairs. Here's
Beautiful.
some of my sculptural work. This is a mermaid type lady, and this is a crab. This is sort of an underwater theme
That's
piece.
beautiful. That's cool.
Thanks. I have gnarly stuff like, my sci-fi, like,
I
type of
love that.
things,
Show the whole thing. Look at that.
container. These are all hand built.
And now, Tara, with that, can you use that like with a bowl to that what you just showed everybody, like to actually use it as for soup or something like
Yeah,
that?
you can eat out of everything that I make. Most of my pieces are sculptural and functional. So
And beautiful.
like for
Very
example, this
beautiful.
this is a really old piece, but this is a throne vessel on off the wheel that I did this ridge effect while I'm on the wheel, but then I carved it by hand afterwards up here and down here. And this is like a vase, but
Beautiful.
you can only fill it up to the here,
Yes.
But
The holes. Those holes
yeah.
might defeat the water.
Yeah, then I do like funky stuff. I do like little carvings. I love to carve things. I love to build things. This is additional sculpture by addition, sort of puzzling things together. It's a lesson for the children.
Thanks for showing that too, because that's very creative.
Yeah. Yeah, I do a little bit of everything pretty much. The one thing I wanted to say is that working in clay and working with art, working with your hands actually saves lives. One of the things that I'm trying to emphasize whenever we're looking for funding and trying to build studios is there's not that many disciplinary art organizations in Western Pennsylvania. There's a few, and I came up through them, like Manchester Craftsmen's Guild, Sweetwater Center for the Arts. I've worked for all of them, but there's really not that many. And so we need to use organizations like the Boys and Girls Club, these big organizations are the perfect, avenue for doing that. So we're trying to build pottery studios. Well, I'm trying to build a pottery studio in the Boys and Girls Club. And then I'm trying to raise money for a mobile unit. It's going to, under my business. It's going to be called WOW. So it's going to be Wheels on Wheels. So we're going to have a van and 2 pottery wheels on wheels that can roll out and people can just use it and I can come to people's driveways, stuff like that.
Very cool.
We have lots of ideas, but we're working on it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, there's so many good things that come from creativity and helping people to be creative and to be
Mhm.
in that creative space, to just kind of be in that beautiful creative space where you're not worrying. You're actually
Mhm.
just doing something that's really
Mhm.
wonderful, and then also helping to connect kids and
Right,
have them, have community through art, Tara, and
right.
those are wonderful, wonderful things to do. And you're spreading beauty through your own art. I mean, I just love your art. I
Thanks.
have
I
many
have to give
pieces
you a
of
better
Tara's
one.
art.
I have to
So
give you more later.
when they're looking you up online, Tara is Terra.
Yeah, just like the earth, which is a coincidence only. Yeah. So, you know,
Good
so
point.
the world, the earth, the clay by Terra, Terra by Terra. So, but
Terra. Okay, Tara by Tara. So
little Terra
before
by
we
Terra.
let you go, let's ask you one more question, because I know you're going to get ready to leave us here and go teach. Um, what is your best hope for post pandemic? Which we hope this summer things will be a lot healthier and opening up a
Mhm.
lot more. What's your best hope for your own art, for the kids?
Right.
You obviously mentioned you could use some help if people want to make charitable contributions or
Mhm.
investments,
Right.
things like that. What's your best hope?
Well, I for the Boys and Girls Club, I hope that we retain our children and then more come. We're still able to operate safely, even if they say that everybody's vaccinated. I just want people, to take a step back and still act safely, regardless of what everybody says. And then so I want that to prosper for the children and have my ceramic studio built up within the organization. Personally, I'm still working on that mobile unit and another ceramic studio for me, for my partner, because he's a ceramic artist now too, so that we can, um, keep it going on both fronts. I like to have a little bit of freedom to make art my way while I'm teaching. It sort of fuels me in order to teach the kids. So, and oftentimes I can't do those two things at the same time. So, you know, so I just think that I want everybody to come together, resume life, but I want people to be a little bit hmm, smarter about things, I guess, just careful, more careful.
Just,
So,
yeah, take care of themselves and take
yeah.
care of their family and friends, and just be a little careful. I know there are a lot of variants out there that people aren't
Mhm.
quite sure about. Will the vaccines cover them all? So it doesn't hurt to be a little extra careful, but to live
Exactly.
and to be
Yeah.
kind
Well,
and
thanks guys
creative.
yeah, thanks for having me. I just wanted to say thank you before you go on to the next thing. I really appreciate it. It's nice.
Oh, Tara, thank you. We love to see you. And Al, we love to hear her story. And you're all about kindness and creativity and
Mhm.
all the good things, Tara. So God bless you and,
Oh,
and your work. I hope that your work just continues to flourish.
oh,
And Al
yeah.
and I will be looking for your new artwork. So we're going to check you
Mhm.
out online. Al,
Yes.
say a final word to Tara before
Okay.
we let her go and
You're
teach.
you're welcome, Tara. You know I'm a big
Mhm.
fan of yours. Sometimes I can't keep up on Instagram with all your
I
great
know.
pics, but you do a
I
great
post a
thing.
lot.
You know I try to like everything because I'm a big fan of yours, especially when I found out what you did at Little Ease, let alone
Yeah.
what you do and promote of yourself. If anybody needs any pottery and you're watching this show, please contact Tara. Definitely do it. And thanks again for being a guest on our show. I enjoyed everything and the visual aspect of your pottery. Beautiful, just
Thanks,
fantastic.
guys.
And good luck to you and everything you do.
So Al, that goes right into the first
Yes.
song that we have for everybody. So why don't we go ahead, if you think, and let's just take a listen to the lyric of "Like a Seal on Your Heart."
Yeah.
Hey everyone, this is Jessica Lee here by request. The song requested is Like a Seal on Your Heart. SEAL, like a seal on your heart. This is written by Reverend Carrie Landry. Here's a version by request. Set me like a seal on your like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you. Love is stronger than death, stronger even than hell. The flash of it is a flash of fire, a flame of Yahweh Himself. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you. Come then, my love, come, my beloved, and no flood can quench our love, for love, if real, has no end. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you.
Jessica Lee, you're on a hot streak. Every week you come up with great songs. And we only have two, folks, but these are two of the best in my book. I never heard this song before. I even checked out the lyrics because you sang them. I looked at them and I heard others even talk about it because this song came out in 1971, and it was by Carrie Landry.
And Reverend, right?
Reverend Carrie Landry.
So Al, you know where I've known this song from in the past?
I wanted to ask, yes.
Weddings.
You're kidding.
Like a lot of people will say, hey, Jess, will you come to the church or to the outdoor garden or wherever they're actually getting married? Will you sing this song as part of our wedding ceremony? Not like the reception, like as part of our ceremony. A lot of people have used it in weddings. So I was, when somebody requested it, there's stories behind there, but some of them are about romantic love. Some of them are about divine agape love, God's love for all of us. But yeah, go ahead.
I knew there had to be some tie-in with it because to find information was very difficult. I had to search some deep sources. So you tested most of my skills. And it's very interesting about Reverend Carrie Landry, becoming a Catholic priest in 1971. And he was out of the Diocese of Lafayette, Louisiana. And he's done that for a long time. He has a ministry and he does concerts all over the world. It's inspirational. Him and his wife, Carol Jean, they wrote these songs, a collection of like 6 albums of songs for their children and others. So they're covering what you do and you try to do. So it tied in perfectly. And I was glad I came across it. Then in 1985, supposedly he stopped being a priest. That's why I wasn't sure whether to say reverend or not, but I defer to him being a reverend and practicing what he did and guiding others and is an inspiration to many.
Well, Al, it's interesting what you just said. You said he and his wife wrote these songs for children in part. And that's just what Tara, how she's been helping the kids during the pandemic. Yeah, isn't that sweet? Go ahead. It
dovetailed perfectly.
Yeah.
No, and it's just a great song. I've looked at the lyrics a couple different times, and they're just again, a heartfelt song, and then thinking they're writing it for children and other members. Very, very nice and inspirational during these times.
Yeah, and I think one of my favorite lines is love, if real,
Yes,
never ends, that love doesn't end. And during the pandemic, we know that a lot of people have gone to heaven. I saw some of the Grammys last night,
yes,
and how many musicians have gone to heaven during the pandemic as well, and artists. And real love, it says, never ends. And so that song is also beautiful for our time. And Al, let's talk about the next song. So I was waiting to sing this blues specifically for you. So this next song I did
thank you.
specifically for Al Levine, the Talking Machine, the Going to Chicago Blues. Tara was saying the kids are having a wide range of emotions. They're having, they're all happy and joyful to be together, and maybe a little spastic, but then they're sad and they're blue. And the blues, the wisdom of the blues, as you know, Al, is sing them out. Sing your blues out. It doesn't matter if you have a good voice or not. Sing them out, and joy will take the place of the sadness when you sing. So I don't care what blues you learn. It can be any of them. It can be Hound Dog. It can be
Yes.
any of them.
Well,
But
I like a
sing
few
your blues out.
blues, yes. But as you know, this is my favorite for a lot of years. When I heard you sing it, that just clicked with me. And from listening to the words and finding out your version of it, we'll talk about that later, and then hearing other versions and who actually wrote it, I never knew until you just posted this, because I only
So
checked and heard the musicians or the vocalists and musicians play and sing it. So I never went the other step until you just told me about it. So
yeah. So the 12 bar blues form is very common, right? We have it in rock and roll. We have blues as an art form. We have it in
right.
jazz and blues. We have the 12 bar blues is very, very common. But Joe Williams was, one of them who sang this song, a great singer who's late, great Joe Williams, who had particular lyrics that he sang, and we can talk about that. And then I threw in a Cassandra, as you know, lyric. Another artist, is going to sing this lyric instead. And so let's take a listen and then hear what you learned.
All right.
All right.
You're going to hear my favorite blues song, everybody. So listen along with me.
Hey everyone, this is Jessica Lee. I'm going to honor a very special song request today. One of my friends always loved this song when I would go out and perform live with other jazz musicians. This is a blues, and it's called Going to Chicago. It has a really long history, and there are various lyrics that different artists have put to this blues over time. So I'm going to choose some of my favorite lyrics, maybe add one or two lyrics of my own, and I will end on a positive note. So the Going to Chicago Blues, I often say, if you're having trouble with somebody in your life, you may want to learn how to sing this song to them. Keep a sense of humor while you do it, and the blues may get out of your system. Some joy will follow. You might get along with that person a little better. And the last lyric that I will choose to sing today would be a positive one, so it will end on a positive note. The Going to Chicago Blues by request. Going to Chicago, baby, can't take you. Going to Chicago, baby, can't take you, no, no. Nothing there for a pretty boy like you to do. See me coming, hang your window high. See me coming, hang your window high, so high. See me going, hang your head and cry. You're so mean, you do things you shouldn't do. Mean, evil, you do things you should not do. You're my bread, honey, maybe coming on to you. Drink mash, talk trash, spend my money in the morning time. Drink mash, talk trash, spend my money in the morning time. Nothing there for a pretty boy like you to do. Going to Chicago, wash away these blues. Going to Chicago, got these blues I got to lose. Yeah, nothing there for a pretty boy like you to do. Champagne, don't bottle. Something baba do 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 da da ba da 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 da. Going to Chicago, baby, can't take you. Going to Chicago, baby, can't take you, no. Nothing there for a pretty boy to do. Tell your baby I'm coming home to you, you. Going to Chicago blues.
You even topped the last song in the last weeks to put my favorite song out as a surprise, a blues song. I just was enthralled with the words, the song, and interplay with the verses, how you've done it on stage with different guys over the years and different people, so it's just been awesome. And then to hear you again on piano, because you're forced to do it during the pandemic, it just sounded fantastic. And I had to do that research, so I dug deep.
Let us know. Okay, so Count Basie was involved in this song. Go ahead, Al.
Yes, Count Basie. And then he was with the music, and the lyrics were by this Jimmy Rushing, who I didn't realize how he's like the big daddy of all the blues singers. That's what they called him. And he was a large man. They called him, his nickname was 5 by 5. 5 foot tall and 5 foot wide. So I started listening to him sing, and he has a unique style, and he's so powerful. Count Basie had a great orchestra. He would sing loud enough that the people could hear him in the back row over top of the orchestra. So I had to listen to him sing going to Chicago, and it was a nice version with a Benny Goodman band or orchestra, and he sang it, and he just has a great distinctive voice, and I never heard of him till now. So you really pulled one right out of the woodshed on this one. It come right out. So it was just great. And, it's just amazing that what he did, and, how Count Basie and him became friends, and he was with the band from 1935 to 1948. And this song came out April 10th, 1941. So it's almost an anniversary for it, 70 years ago. So, or no, 80 years ago, sorry. And
It's been
that's
around.
just that was just crazy. And, then I got some stuff on Count Basie. I didn't know it was William James Basie, because everything I ever saw was Count. And, with me, nicknames and everything in the sports world, we just go by the nicknames. So it was cool to find that out. And he formed his orchestra in 1935, because orchestras were very popular back then. And he did it in 35. And guess where he went in 1936?
Where?
Chicago.
Went to Chicago.
Yes, so
Yeah.
he went to Chicago,
Big jazz scene there.
and then he was traveling to New York many times, playing with legends and inviting legends like Billie Holiday and others to sing with his orchestra. And Jimmy Rushing was there the whole time singing and performing with that. I thought that was so cool. So I had to listen to some other songs. And the interesting thing with Count Basie, I knew he was a piano player, but when he was younger, he was a natural piano player. His mother taught him, Lillian taught him to play piano, but he loved drums to be different. And he had a great friend, and they were playing drums. Well, at 15, his friend went on to other things with drumming. He went back to the piano, and look what he did, because he was a natural and he was great at it. And he just stayed with it, went to Harlem, all these places all over the country, and formed his band with all these legends who he friended.
One of the most popular big bands. Yeah.
Yes.
Quite a leader, quite a band leader. Yeah.
No, it was true. And then you originally had told me about Ernestine Anderson, a
Yeah,
version.
yeah, Ernestine. Yes, yes.
Yes.
So Joe Williams as well. Did you read about Joe Williams, the singer?
I read a little bit about him, and I heard his version again because that was the original one. And what I wanted to share with you why I went to Ernestine is because it's a man's song about a mucky woman that was on heroin. And that's what the song is about. But it just struck a chord with me on how cool the song says. And you feel better after listening to the song.
Well, and so Ernestine, the lyric in there, the verse that says "drink mash, talk trash, I'm gonna
Yes.
spend all my money in the morning." That's hers. That's from her version. That
1984, 1984, Jess.
Yeah,
I looked it up because of that.
yeah, a woman's her take on it, and although the song was written for a particular, particular backstory, really anybody who hears the lyric of this song can relate, because it's like there's somebody in your life you're having trouble with, and you want to get away for a little bit, right?
So you did the great teaser with that up front, because if you're having problem, just remember, and sometimes you just can't come to Chicago with me. I can't take you. And how about this for a fact about Ernestine? You've heard of Quincy Jones, right?
Sure have, yeah.
Guess what? They graduated together at Garfield High School.
Wow.
They were graduates, and she joined his label at Quest in 1994. She joined the label with Quincy Jones to put out songs, and she was just a great singer, and she did it for 6 decades. So she was more prolific than I even thought, because you only see these little albums and you don't realize it.
Yeah, she's worth a look on YouTube if people aren't hip to Ernestine Anderson. Her blues and jazz singing, she's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Times
So-
Magazine wrote an article on her. I got to look what year here, but Times Magazine came out, and they said that she was one of the top tier jazz and blues singers. And this was 1958 when she was 29 years old. They said she was comparable to, you've heard of Ella Fitzgerald, another one of your Sarah Vaughan, and Billie Holiday. And Ernestine was so modest. She goes, I just want to be me. And don't worry about those other people.
And she was, each of those singers, very unique and very authentic. And she did a recorded version, Ernestine Anderson did, of, I believe it was Thrill Is Gone. B.B. King, and
Yes.
some blues singers. So you mentioned more of the kind of the jazz singers, but just even in the pure blues genre, she did a version of Thrill Is Gone, recorded, it was live. And there's a part of it that's a cappella, like there's no music, and she's just improvising. And so she's just beautiful singer. Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, she is. And with Joe Williams, I've heard his version, and I heard him with different bands doing it, and it's just prolific. His voice and his phraseology are just fantastic. And the
I mean,
music
coming up, in music, Al, the jazz mentors always would mention his version. I mean, they would, say, "Oh, go listen to Joe Williams and his version." But these songs are timeless. They're classics. They're standards, and people put their own spin, their own authentic, unique spin on them when they sing them. And so I'm glad I was able to get this in, Al, and do this one for you because
Thank you.
I wanted to wait until we got to that spring forward, and we're looking at spring now. The pandemic is, a lot of the tough times are hopefully behind us, Al. We're looking to a warmer summer, and so I encourage everybody when they're sad to go find some blues songs on YouTube, sing them, sing your blues out, and get rid of them. And the summertime's coming, so.
Yes, yes, it is. And Jess, on a personal note, this even meant a little bit more because it's my 18-month anniversary of my kidney transplant. And I had the appointment, and my doctor said my blood work and urine lab work was perfect. And he goes, "You're in great health." So you talk about getting rid of your blues. To hear that from a doctor tell you that, it just means so much. And my son's doing well, and that's my hero. And to have this favorite blues song pop up, it just brightened up my day even more. So thank you again.
I'm glad, Al. That's a special song for you, and here's to many, many more months and years of good health
Yes,
and good music.
last
And
sip.
for your son as well, for giving a kidney to you, and for all those out there who are fighting the blues this week. We're thinking about you and sending you a lot of good vibes and good love and unconditional agape divine love coming through. So everybody hang in there, keep sending those song requests. Al, we love to hear the song requests.
Yes, yes, we do.
So thank
Definitely.
you for continuing to help us to put this show on, Al, and produce it. And thanks to Dave Cable and BPTV, and everybody keep the song requests coming.
And ditto for that. And special thanks to Jessica Lee. I'm honored that you played that song and sang that song for me. And, I feel better. To all of you, listen to it again. It will brighten up your day. And if you didn't listen to it again. So have a good day, and keep sending those by requests, and tell your friends about by requests, and we'll keep doing it because we want to inspire you to leave all this bad stuff, negative stuff behind us, move forward, and we're springing ahead.